Now we're going to make a tube, and I like to make a tube with the use of my skewer. I just take the wool, the length being away from me, put it underneath the skewer, put my thumb right down on the wool, and start to twist. And as you twist, if you hold the pressure with your fingers, between your fingers, you'll find that you're actually entangling the fibers already and dry felting, causing the fibers to entangle just with the pressure of your fingers. So you can run back and forth, up and down the shaft. I've even made purse handles by doing this dry felting method initially over wire. So here we have a nice tube, and I like to needle felt it while it's still on the skewer. You don't need to go directly in because you'll hit the skewer, but instead choose approximately a 45-degree angle from the wood. Needle felt to firm it up before you take it off so that it becomes more dense towards the core. Continue working it so it feels very nice and firm, and go ahead and turn it over and work the other direction as well. The wool will always shrink towards the direction that you're needle felting. So you want to work over an entire piece rather than focusing on just one area, unless your goal is to really condense that one area. When you're shaping for body parts and other important pieces of a sculpture, you want to make it nice and even. So in this case, if we were to continue needling, when we felt it was nice and firm, we would go ahead and push it off our skewer rather than pull, and then we continue working it. Continue needle felting towards the center. And there's many different ways to work the shape depending on what you're doing. You can go right down in the center to really firm up the core. You could flatten here by needle felting. You could round the edge by needle felting this way. You could leave one end a little loose for attaching onto something else. There's many great things you can do. This would make a great arm or part of a leg or other some extension onto a sculpture. So this is what I call a roll. Now a cone is made in a very similar fashion, and a cone is great for fingers or noses and things like that. I'll just pull off a pinch of this wool. We'll put it right on the end of our skewer, just like this, fold it down just like what we did with the tube. But this time, we're going to hold tension just at the base and let it flare out at the top. So this part is nice and loose and all spread out, and here it is very tight against the skewer. We push this off here, and we have a nice cone. That would be the great formation of something that you want to stick off top of a pointy hat, or even a finger perhaps. You can needle felt right down the center. You can make your cones a little more dull or more pointy like this is, but having the end flared out like this makes it great for attaching to another piece of wool. You can just see that just blends right in there. We just laid it right down on top of the white. So that is a cone. And then the last thing I'll show you is making what I call a fold or a roll. I call it a fold. And this is really great for making cheeks or buttocks or any extensions like onto a chin or something like that. And we make a roll, but we leave what I call a flange. I call this a flange. And what we do is we needle right at the fold. Depending on what you're doing with this piece, you can decide whether to needle felt the rest. So we needle felt it just so it stays in place. And again, we have like a little pouch that we could attach onto something else. You can see that a couple of these might make a really good buttocks, and we would just needle felt this on to the bigger piece. So these are some really simple shapes: a ball, a fold, a tube, and a cone. And with these basic shapes, you can do many, many things. You could make a little bunny rabbit just like this, using nothing more than the basic shapes that I've just shown you. This one has a little shrinky-dink tag on the back, which is a great way to mark your sculptures. You could make a little teddy bear just like this, using nothing more than balls, rolls, tubes, and cones. You could make a very simple snowman. This hat was made with a great big fat roll. You could make this quirky and funny little duck. The feet are really just methods of folds that we make, and the same with the arms, attached with a loose flange. Or you could even make a doll's face like this. So I hope you'll get started. Don't be too shy to just give needle felting a try. It's a wonderful, wonderful art form and craft form, and it's great fun. So we wish you a wonderful time needle felting.